In the heart of the Amazon rainforest, nestled in a small village, lived a humble farmer named Pedro. Pedro was content with his simple life, spending his days tending to his crops and animals. He enjoyed the fresh air, the lush greenery, and the tranquility of his village. One day, a wealthy businessman arrived in the village. The businessman was fascinated by Pedro's skills as a farmer and saw an opportunity to help him expand his business. The businessman approached Pedro and said, "Pedro, you have the skills to grow crops and raise animals, and you can use that to create a successful business. Why are you living in such a small house?" Pedro smiled and replied, "I am happy with what I have. I have enough to feed my family and a roof over my head. I am grateful for what I have. But imagine what you could achieve if you expanded your farm and sold your produce to markets in the city. You could make a lot of money and live a life of luxury," the businessman said. Pedro pondered for a moment and replied, "I don't need a lot of money or luxury to be happy. I have my family, my farm, and my community. That is enough for me." The businessman left, frustrated that he couldn't convince Pedro to pursue wealth and success. But Pedro continued to live his life, tending to his farm, spending time with his family, and helping his neighbors. He found joy in the simple things in life and never felt the need to accumulate material wealth. Years went by, and the businessman returned to the village. To his surprise, he found Pedro's farm had expanded, and he had started a small cooperative with his neighbors. They sold their produce to markets in nearby towns, but Pedro remained humble and never let success get to his head. The businessman was amazed and asked Pedro how he managed to build a successful business while remaining true to his values. Pedro smiled and said, "I may not have a lot of money, but I have something more valuable, a life filled with love, happiness, and contentment. Money can't buy that." The businessman was moved by Pedro's words and realized that success wasn't just about wealth but also about finding joy in the simple things in life. He spent time in the village, getting to know the people and their way of life. He learned about their culture, their traditions, and their values. As the businessman spent time with the villagers, he began to appreciate the simple things in life. He enjoyed the fresh air, the lush greenery, and the tranquility of the village. He found joy in spending time with his family, playing with his children, and helping his neighbors. The businessman realized that he had been chasing success and wealth, thinking that they were the keys to happiness. But in reality, it was the simple things in life that brought him joy and contentment. He decided to change his ways and live a more simple life, focusing on the things that truly mattered. Pedro's wisdom had inspired the businessman to embrace a new way of life, one that was more fulfilling and meaningful. He left the village with a newfound appreciation for the simple things in life, determined to live a life filled with love, happiness, and contentment.